On now to our guest co-host, who today is the CEO of Dark Emerald Studios, an indie game publisher based here in Dubai. So welcome to the show to Ahmed Al Hamed. Thank you so much indeed for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate your time and really appreciate you giving your expertise and knowledge on what is a booming industry at the moment, both in terms of financial input, but interest and the human capital that's coming into the region. I'm always interested about the human side because a lot of people still, for some bizarre reason, see gaming as, okay, maybe not a sort of straightforward career, and yet you're a perfect example of how you can turn a passion into a career. But talk to us about that pathway and the eureka moment, because educated traditionally and went into engineering and now find yourself in game. I suppose you're still engineering to a certain degree, but what was your personal pathway?
Well, when it comes for me, my own personal pathway, it started very early on. I grew up with video games. We played video games all the time. I was one of those kids that would just stay home and not go outside and just play video games. And then becoming an engineer, and I went to the nuclear industry, and I was teaching people how to operate a nuclear power plant, and I used video games to teach them, which they learned very fast. They had fun doing it. So transitioning from that to actually making video games was not really a hard decision. It was hard to actually execute it and actually build a company, but it just felt natural. And when it comes to engineering, being part of it, you could say it is still part of what I still do. A lot of the things I learned, because when it comes to making a video game, there's a lot of engineering that goes into it. There's a lot of math that actually goes into it, which a lot of people don't know. So it's a very fun kind of career, I would say, but also very, very difficult.
It's my son's dream career, so I'm going to be taking notes so I can impress him later. But you know, I've come to learn you're not just building games, you're building worlds and you're building stories. So what kind of stories are you trying to tell? I know I saw a little preview clip of, is it ENSI, your new?
ENSI. It's actually short for encyclopedia.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, well.
When it comes to the stories that we are trying to make, a lot of it actually comes to the emotional point of view, at least personally, because for me, gaming was a very emotional thing. There's a lot of good stories that, in my opinion, cannot be told in another media form. You can only experience it by experiencing the video game itself and connecting to the character. So the stories we try to tell comes from a very emotional place. We wrote our story ourselves, and a lot of it comes from within. So I'm not the only one who's writing the stories in the company. We're actually 3 writers. And when we come up with what we want to tell, a lot of it comes from within, how we felt when we did certain things. And I feel like that's what makes it beautiful. It's something that you can actually relate to and people can connect with. So that's pretty much where it actually comes from.
That's pretty great.
I understand that. I mean, for me, as someone who's not a gamer, I just look at it as games. But for a lot of people, I understand it's a big form of escapism.
Yes.
My question to you is slightly different, because whenever we think of gaming, or at least my limited knowledge of it, I always think of it as something that's imported from overseas. How important would you say it is for the UAE to have its own identity and create its own content and IP?
It's actually very important. We play a lot of games that come from globally, which is great. But we don't have our own IP, and if we're not really creating our own IP, we're not really shaping the industry, we're just participating in it. There is a lot that can be explored over here when it comes to culturally and creatively. So I think it's good that we're actually getting into it so that we can actually share a lot about ourselves globally. So it is very important that we start making our own IP and sharing that with the world, I would say.
You hinted a little bit earlier on about, the sort of process of getting a gaming company, a developer, a programming company up and running here. Dark Emerald, talk us through the Dark Emerald story and some of the challenges there's a wry grin on the face here, there's a story behind this one.
So when I started, it was like back in 2019. It was before, you could say, now everyone's talking about gaming. It's blowing up really, and it happened during COVID when everyone was just staying at home and everyone wanted to play a game. But when I started, it was so hard for me to actually hire anyone, because I would email people around the world and be like, hey, I want to start a gaming company and you have the experience, can we start something together? And it was like, Dubai, Middle East, it's still new, we don't know, do I want to move there and start a gaming company? But I got lucky that I found 3 guys here in Dubai that made a very small game that didn't really do much, but it showed their passion. I was like, fine, let's start a game together. And we focused a lot on the training aspect of it. So we knew that we were new in the industry and we had to learn. So we've invested so much of our time and money to learning. Yes, we have a bit of background, but we wanted to learn what makes a game actually successful. It was very, very hard, very difficult at first. Now it's easier. The industry and the ecosystem is actually like getting jump started. The foundation is there, which is good. And I am very happy to be part of that.
Yeah.
So it's actually, it was difficult, but I'm glad that it's actually easier now. And I encourage more people to actually like think of actually getting into it.
Well, you guys have done obviously a phenomenal job. Your work has been shown internationally at is it the Tokyo Game Show as well?
Yes.
And then, yeah, I'm just wondering, what does that say about UAE game creators? How are they being perceived internationally?
There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of curiosity when it comes to, oh, there was never a game that came out from this region. So there's a lot of people that are interested in that. And when we were in Japan showcasing our game, there was a lot of people that would come and try our game, and they would ask us, where's this game from? And we'd say, UAE, Dubai. And they're like, really? There's a game that came from there? And they were very interested, and which showed that they actually have that curiosity there. And it's very, very nice. It gave us exposure. It made more and more people aware of our game, of the industry, of UAE and Dubai as a whole, which is actually very, very good. For us, we were very successful that we actually got into Sony's radar, Sony PlayStation, and they're actually helping us make our game now. So I would say like it's good to actually shine a light on the fact that the region is also getting into gaming, and more interest and investment is actually coming here.
So NSA's on PlayStation?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well done.
I'm sure there are a lot of people watching who look at this entire industry of gaming as a dream career, but you've actually put in the sweat, blood, and hard work. You know what it takes to really survive or make it in this industry. So what would you say are some realistic tips that you can share?
Realistic tips. It is definitely very realistic to actually start a gaming company, but it's not easy. When it comes to starting a game company, you have to wear a lot of hats, especially in the region, because it's very new. It's still developing. The foundation is still being built. The ecosystem is still being built. So you have to actually be the person who focuses on how to structure, how to build a team, what vision does your company actually have, what kind of video games you want to make, because that will actually shape how your company is throughout the years. So I would say you don't really need to wait for someone to come to you and tell you like, hey, would you like to join a company? With everything that's available online now, you can learn and you can actually make your own game back at home. So you hear a lot about these one-man developers that actually make their own games. So it's a good way to start, and you're building your own foundation, you're building your portfolio. I would say it is quite realistic. It's good to actually get into it very early, and you just need to be...
What's early, by the way?
Come again?
What's early? Get into it very early, like from being a child?
I would say, so there's a lot of kids that actually get into it now and make games online. They actually start with, so many people play Minecraft, for example. A lot of kids play games like that. And you can actually build your own game within Minecraft. You can build your own games within Fortnite, for example. You can build within Roblox. And there's a lot of people finding success there. So you can start that early, actually. And you just need to be serious about it and consistent, I would say.